coming back, and thank you. Gratitude, gratitude. Sarita Talks is tackling some really awesome subjects. We're interviewing some really awesome people. And this month is Men's Mental Health Month. So I'm always a proponent for women, of course, and what we have going. But I have a special guest today, and we've been on other shows, but he was so gracious as to come on my show. Bayah Thomas. Bayah, tell us about yourself and then lead us right into the love of life.
Okay, my name is Bayah Thomas, and I'm the Love of Life, CEO of Love of Life, LLC as well. And I'm just a man that's seeking redemption. I'm putting
Okay.
forward the effort to motivate and inspire positive change in our community.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You're seeking redemption. And I just want to tie it back to what led you to the penitentiary and the feeling that you would not be whole, if I'm right, without this redemption.
Uh, Unfortunately, I sold myself for more than less than half my worth when I was a very young child. When I was 8 years old, I committed myself to a life of crime,
Mm.
and I started hearing I would be dead or in jail when I was eight. 18, I stood before the jury facing the death penalty. So I found myself inside a dark cell, and I learned that I didn't love myself enough. I didn't love my family enough to choose a life that put my life on the line every second of the day. And with that reality, I sought redemption by loving life, and not only loving my life and the life of my loved ones, but of everybody's. So when it comes to me seeking redemption, I don't know what redemption looks like, so I seek it for the rest of my life.
I love that. I really love that. And let me tell you, I can see redemption on you. I can see it on you. But I want to talk about a lot of people don't know, and you might know as well, the self fulfilling prophecy. And that's where you tell a child or a young person you're going to end up in prison. You're going to end up in debt. You're going to end up dead. You're going to end up on drugs. You're going to end up in institutions. Because in our subconscious, when you feed those things into these children, you're actually leading them to a path they might not even have went on without those words. Would you agree?
I believe it because I lived it. Like I said, at 8 years old, they started pumping it into my heart, and it became my reality at 9 years old when I found a dead body on my go kart. So
Oh,
I've been experiencing death and, more importantly, gun violence from a very young age.
yeah.
So me seeing it and hearing it and them telling it to me, I believed it.
Yeah. So just to go back as a young child and finding a dead body, what were some of the thoughts that went through your mind?
Unfortunately, the dead body was on the go kart and it was a sheet covering it. So one of my childhood friends, he thought it was a dead dog. So I was concerned with finding out who the person was. I wanted to know if it was somebody I knew.
Yeah.
And I pulled the sheet off and seen that it was a man. I seen the Timberland boot.
Oh
So,
no.
through my mind, like I said, the things that was embedded in me about me being dead or in jail before I'm 21, I started thinking, how old was that person? Who was that person? Who killed
Yeah.
that person?
Yeah.
And lastly was, how old will I be when I die? I hope I
Oh
didn't die like this.
man. And these are a lot of tough thoughts for an 8-year-old. So now you're 18. We're going to fast forward just a tidbit to being on trial facing the death penalty.
Yes, for me to be totally honest, and I'm brutally honest when it comes to my truth, uh,
Hmm.
my heart was cold. I was assaulted with a sense of remorse and regret when I seen my loved ones come into the courtroom, distraught, sad, and heartbroken because
Hmm.
I took their family member away from them.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
from Wilson Park Projects, and we imploded within ourselves and started eating each other. And my story is a product of my environment. I'm not a product of my environment in regards to what I've done. And, even me speaking to the way I am today, this is the results of my elevation as man. And
Hmm.
everything that I've been through just forced me into the man that I am. And even
Which
though
is
the
a good
hardest,
thing.
pardon me,
That's a good thing. That's a good
yeah,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
You know how a lot of us sometimes say that we live with no regrets? I don't understand that, because without me regretting my actions, I would never evolved into the man that I am.
True, true. I mean, it's easy to look back, I guess, and say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad," or "da da 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 da." But reality, and when we face it's a whole different story. Would you agree?
For sure, for sure.
And yeah, and the
We
ripple effect. You were a victimizer, and you saw it ripple through the family. I feel the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Whatever happened between me and that gentleman didn't have anything to do with his brother, didn't have anything to do with his mother or his father, but they were victimized by my actions. So the redemption has led you into the love of life. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
yes. The love of life um, is a couple of entities within one umbrella corporation.
Hmm.
And I like to speak about the nonprofit, because that gives me joy along with everything else, blessings upon blessings. So
Yeah,
we have mentorship programs. We mentor individuals that's incarcerated. We help them with their parole packages.
nice.
A part of the Redemption Seekers is Free Jimbo movement, where we fight to help
And
the
say his
case of
name. Say his name so people know who
that's what
he
I was
is.
about to say. I was about to say the case of Roberto LaBoy III.
Okay.
We're fighting to get him home and other individuals. So we put in petitions, consideration of time for individuals that have life sentence and
Yeah.
or football numbers, which is
Mhm.
numbers that they are sentenced to, that they will die inside the prison, if not seen in court and taken into consideration of the good things that they've done, and them
Yeah.
just being rehabilitated. We mentor the youth. Most importantly, out here we have programs and things like that, that we engage with the youth to keep them off the streets. Um,
Nice.
we do community outreach as well. We feed. We do back to school drives. We did clothes drives where we pass out clothes and food, toys, and all those type of things.
Oh, I just love that. Now, let me tell everybody, as you know, I'm in Missouri, and Bayah is tuning in today from PA. What part of
Yes, sir.
Philadelphia are you in?
Well, I'm from South Philadelphia, but I'm in Harrisburg now. I'm in the state capital.
Okay, great. And I'm sure you're getting a lot done there, correct?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
for
and
sure.
people, let me tell you, you just don't know. It's easier than you think to go and talk to your legislators. You are the constituent. You are the one with a vote. So you go in there and you just knock on doors or whose doors open and make relationships. That's how easy it is. So if you have a loved one and you think you can't do anything for them, or you've seen something on the news that you believe to be an injustice, go talk to somebody about it. Because let me tell you, they want you to vote for them. These are elected officials. And who elects them? The people do. The people. Now, you were just telling me about an event coming up in Philadelphia. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's actually in Harrisburg.
Hmm.
It's called 717 Day, which is the area code of Harrisburg and surrounding counties.
Yeah.
We have ceasefire that we're employing all citizens of Harrisburg and surrounding counties to put the guns down, to put the drugs down. No criminal activity for one day. Us in Harrisburg, we have 4 locations right now, that we're trying to tie down and or already tied down. We already have fourth and oh man, Emerald. My apologies. Fourth and
No.
Emerald. I was going to say my home, which is Fourth and Dolphin. That's where I do my activities at that playground. But this event for July 17th, 717 Day, is going to be on Fourth and Emerald. And the other 4 locations, the other 3 locations, we have to tie in. But we're at the beginning stages of this event, setting up this event. but it's going to be a beautiful event. We have a whole bunch of
Absolutely.
community-based leaders, religious leaders, and just pillars of our community joining in, being a part of this collective to bring progressive, positive change in our community.
Oh, I love it. So, how do we get a hold of you? How do we find out more about the love of life?
Well, you can find out about me on Facebook, Instagram, uh, TikTok, and all that. Bayah
And
Thomas,
also,
and
yeah, and
or
also under Redemption Seekers, correct?
yes, it's a group on Facebook, the Redemption Seekers,
I love that. I
and
love that. Now, I
yes,
feel like I cut you off. So, it's just Bayah Thomas on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
yes, and then there's also the Love of Life. You can tap into the Love of Life. We have also have a YouTube page as well, YouTube channel
Nice.
as well.
Good, good. And some of the encouraging things that you're doing in the community, people, I think they think it's harder than what it is. Now you've got to put in some work, but if there are kids that need outreach, tell us some of those things one more time. You were doing toys, you were doing book bags.
Okay, we did a back to school drive.
Yeah.
We have partnered with other individuals that already have one. So we're not going
Uh-huh.
to do our own this year. We're just going to partner up with individuals that already have them because it's about
Good.
maximizing our impacts in the community. So we
Uh-huh.
passed out toys, we passed out school supplies, we passed out clothes, we passed out food. Every activity that we have, we pass out food. We feed the kids. So
Nice.
it,
Because people just
yes.
don't know there's a population of people that are hungry and they don't want to say anything. And that's sad. That's sad.
Yes.
And a lot of
Yes.
times people are struggling to make ends meet. So when something like this comes into, your neighborhood, how exciting to see that someone cares. And I want to tie it back to the love of life and you imparting that to kids. Because I remember growing up, there were times where I didn't love my life. I didn't love who I was. I didn't know where I was in this place, in this world. Tell us about maybe some of the transformation that you've seen, or maybe that kids don't hear that often enough.
Okay, so for me personally, uh, I had my biological father and my stepfather in my life, but
Hmm.
I never was actually fathered. So I know what it is to have a lack of father figure in regards to someone that actually pours into you positive energy, love, and support, and
Yeah.
pushes you in any and every direction that's best for you, and invest in you. So for me, I know it starts at home with the mother and father and or lack thereof. So it's about instilling core ethics in them, morals and belief systems, because too often the children are raising the children and
Yeah.
they're lost. So the blind is leading the blind. So it starts with the education. So we educate in our programs is evidence-based practices, and
Mhm.
we just go off of the stats.
Nice. Nice.
Statistically, children is more likely to be incarcerated or killed in the streets if not educated correctly and just invested into.
Yeah. And there's a power behind that. You mentioned belief systems. You grew up believing you were going to be dead or in jail and finding a dead body and relating to when or if is this going to be me and will they identify me? So, what are some of the belief systems that you're helping to impart to these youth who need it?
Oh, one of the most important ones is leadership. Leadership
Absolutely.
is in paramount because if our children lack the skill to be leaders, then they will just be followers. So,
Mhm.
most importantly, it's imperative that we teach our children how to lead. And then after that is character. So many of us have identity crisis, are in identity crisis, and or have
Mhm.
went through 'em. So we're just following the trend of failure. So
Yeah.
it's about individuals knowing who they want to be, and most importantly, who they don't want to be, and just giving them the skills and tools that they need to navigate through the pitfalls and everything of our community.
Yeah, and I know gender is a big thing, but there's a difference between the upbringing and the mentorship that a young girl needs and that a young man needs. And I just want, we're talking about mental health. We're talking about it's men's mental health. I know that we're of the same generation, and especially among the Black community, we never wanted to talk about mental health. You were crazy, something was wrong with you, especially not being a young man. And I remember just going through times in my life where I didn't understand what I was doing, where I was at, and I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody about it. Do you feel like maybe that has changed somewhat through programs like the Love of Life?
Oh yes, because we always deal with mental health because that's a major part of the dysfunction in our families, and then most importantly our community,
Yeah.
because we, like one of the big things that I always say, that was embedded in me: a man don't cry. You hide your emotions and you deal with it. That's one of the biggest things that, as a child growing up, it already puts you in a disadvantage mentally and emotionally, because you can't even think past your emotions because you're not able to express them, so you don't
Yeah.
even understand what's going on. So we
Wow.
have coping tools that, was embedded in us. For me, it was violence. Somebody did something or said something I don't like, I'll punch you in your face. Like, we got to fight. I grew out of that. I learned better. So we have to, tie in mental health with any and every aspect of our life, so we can have an understanding not only what's going on, but would happen if we don't do, or if we do. So
Yeah.
it's about knowing, how to be in tune with our emotions and our thoughts, because sometimes our emotions goes against our morals and beliefs, and we always have to go away with that, and just can't act out on and talk on our emotions.
Yeah, and I really feel like it goes back to choices. And if I feel like I don't have any choices, then and the only one I have is that bad choice, that's the one I'm going to make. I can't express my feelings, and like you said, you express yours through violence, but it's all about choices. And about my past, I got locked into situations and places where I didn't have even control over myself and what I was into. So let me tell you, it's all about and being able to realize that, hey, I'm worthy. I'm worthy, and someone cares about me. And if no one that I can physically see around me cares about me, I need to care about myself. Tell us where we can get a hold of you, and we're going to wrap it up. And then, Bayah, I want to see you again. I want to see you soon, and I want to hear more about what you're doing. But tell us one more time.
Okay, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Bayah Thomas. That's BayahThomas. And you can email me at bayathomas0 at gmail.com. That's BayahThomas0 at gmail.com.
And I really want people to reach out to Bayah, find out what he's doing, see if you can mirror it, see if you can help. That's what it's all about, is one hand helping another so we can get our way up out of these barrels we put ourselves in. Thanks for coming. We appreciate you.